Florida first.
Senator Kevin Cramer joins us now to discuss the remarks he made this afternoon on the Senate floor about President Biden's insinuation that because there are around 9,000 approved oil leases going unused, the oil industry is refusing to increase production. Senator, thank you for being here.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to clarify some of the facts, shall we say.
Sure. Now, Senator, is Biden's claim that there are 9,000 unused leases that oil companies can be, quote, drilling right now, yesterday, last week, last year, that's what he said. Is that a smokescreen for energy policies that have had hamstringing effects on oil production?
Well, thanks, Josh. It is a smokescreen. And even if it's technically accurate, the 9,000 leases not being used, it's woefully incomplete because there are a number of factors, not the least of which is that not every lease has oil or has any minerals under it. I mean, one of the reasons that oil companies buy multiple leases is because some will have a mineral under them and some of them will not. But it also doesn't tell the rest of the story, and that is that there's a whole bunch of other regulatory hurdles that a company has to go through before the lease becomes permitted to drill, and that's really the rest of the story.
Senator, when you have an abundant supply of domestic energy, the cost of manufacturing, agriculture, and the cost of living comes down. So why do you think the Biden administration isn't doing more to tap into North Dakota's oil?
Yeah, it's really an important question, and it's a peculiar one for the Biden administration because they've done everything from looking to despots in Iran and Venezuela, really some of our worst enemies, to help fill the gap. Now they're looking to Canada. They're asking Canada to produce more oil, even though they won't approve the Keystone XL pipeline. I think for whatever reason, the Biden administration is so opposed to fossil fuels that they'd rather see somebody else producing them, which, by the way, they would produce at probably a higher cost and certainly with a dirtier footprint than we would. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve, taking 1 million barrels a day out of the reserve, that's about 5% of what the United States produces now or uses now. And so it's not a big amount, but it's a further disincentive for investment in the United States. If you're an investor in oil and gas and the government says, well, we've got these big reserves for emergencies, we're going to declare an emergency and we're going to displace 5% of private production with this government asset, you're really telling the industry, don't produce more. So it completely makes zero sense.
And in the case of Venezuela, they are a country on the Human Rights Watch list. And when we're not producing oil, we're transferring wealth to countries that do not share our interests. Real quick, Senator, we know that producing oil isn't as quick or easy as flipping a switch, but we know the administration's policies are sending negative signals to the marketplace.
Remember, about 2 years ago, the price of oil was negative. You literally had to pay somebody to take your oil and store it for you. That's how Donald Trump filled the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, with very low-cost oil. To now take it out at $100 a barrel means you'd have to replace it at maybe $50, $60 to $100 a barrel. So it's economically upside down. And then to get a play going, to drill a new well, to put up all the infrastructure, that takes time and it costs millions of dollars. And you're not going to invest those millions of dollars if this is going to change within weeks or months or even a matter of a year. You need to know, and your investors need to know, that you're going to be able to make a return on that investment. And why not? Why not American energy rather than Venezuelan energy?
All right, Senator Kevin Cramer, thank you so much for your time.
Always my pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Josh. Next.